Right, good afternoon, wherever you are, and great to have you with us. This is the Microcare YouTube channel, and we're introducing you to solar, answering your questions and helping you figure out this whole thing. It's changing so much. Of course, our first time not in green and gold, although we are still the world champions, and all set to go for an exciting celebration happening around the country. Anyway, great to have you with us. This is our insight into talking all things solar. And we've been in the studio over the last couple of days right here at Microcare. This is a factory in Nelson Mandela Bay, Port Elizabeth, Gqeberha, and the ocean just behind me over here. And we're here to answer your questions. Thanks for all your comments coming through. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as we continue to unpack solar. Of course, we have got a training manual here. This is a manual that we go through on a month-to-month basis with our installers. And for those interested in solar, and in here we tell you all about our product range, the data sheets, the manuals, all the information about who we are at Microcare and what we've been doing here for the last 33 years. And then we also teach you how to size a system and all the practicalities thereof. And all of this is available on our website, or you can get in touch with us, email sales@microcare.co.za. Right, training course comes up monthly for installers. There's a practical aspect to it, which is quite complicated, and more for electricians and installers. But there's a system sizing and product training course, sales course as well that we do with our guys. So for more information on that, get in touch with us. We'll tell you when the next training courses are coming up. Now, some of our training videos we've actually placed on our YouTube channel as well, particularly around the Geyser controller, one of our newer products. So you can find some of the training courses that we're offering on there. All right, so there we go. That's available on our website. Data sheets, brochures, all the information, and get in touch with us if you want more details. All right. We've also got Wouter, who's our tech guru. Wouter has featured, in fact, on our YouTube channel, and he's going to come back again. And if you've got any really technical questions, we've had some of those for our installers, then we're going to get Wouter in to come and answer some of those questions as well, and we'll gooi 'n bietjie Afrikaans on those times as well. But we'll also be moving out of the studio a little bit. We're going to be showing you some sites where installations are taking place and answering some of your questions as well. All right, so that's all to come. Right, let's talk about MPPTs today. MPPT, Maximum Power Point Tracker. What is this, eh? And why does Microcare make it separate from maybe some of your other manufacturers? They often have the MPPT part inside. So that's what we want to talk about today on the show. So when it comes to solar, of course, we've got some key elements. We all know about the inverter. We've all needed our inverter, particularly with load shedding. Then you've got solar panels on the roof. That's really what making the power. And then you've got some kind of storage, which is in the battery. What we've not really done is champion these guys. This is really what solar is about. These are the real heroes of solar. The inverter's inverting DC to AC. He's just doing a simple job of taking battery power and supplying your load, or taking grid power and charging a battery. He's just doing that job. And everyone sings his praises. This is the champion, the MPPT, Maximum Power Point Tracker. And this technology has evolved over the years, and now it's all about MPPT. We make two versions, go through them quickly for you. This is the baby one. We call him the LED MPPT. Why LED? It's got LED lights on. I know when do we come up with these genius things, eh? LED lights. So he's just indicating to you what's happening with it. There's no buttons, there's no screens. He's a one panel, one battery kind of pony. All right, that's what he does. He puts one panel up in the sky, one battery down there, and he charges it. And guys will use this for like gate motors or CCTV cameras. Your farmers love them because the motor for the gate is like down there. And then he doesn't want to have to run electrical cable all the way. So he puts it on solar. So this is what this guy does, MPPT, taking power from one panel rather, and he's charging a battery. You've got traffic light guys using this. You've got your road safe guys out on the roads. If they want to indicate for you to stop, they use these. So any remote application where you want some fairly low power, one battery, one panel kind of things, your LED. We make three versions, a 10 amp, a 20 amp, and a 30 amp. Now that really has to do with the current, the flow of power. And so if you've got a 12 volt battery, like a car battery, 12 volts, and you've got a 10 amp, this is a 20 amp, by the way. If you've got a 10 amp and a 12 volt battery, 10 times 12 is 120. That's the maximum size panel you could put on a 10 amp MPPT and a single battery. So that's how we size the systems. This is a 20 amp boy. Our biggest is a 30 amp. You can go up to something like 720 watts of power on a 24 volt battery system. So go and have a look there. They're cheap, they're robust, they go forever. and we manufacture them here at Microcare. One panel, one battery kind of application. All right, so those are those guys. The ones that we really focus on are these big boys, the LCDs. This is our smallest one. The bigger one is about this big, and we build it separate. We'll talk about that in a moment, but let's just have a look at him. He's got some breakers on, he's got a screen, he's got some buttons, he's adjustable, he's lithium ion compatible, he's robust and tough, and he's got a heat sink on the back as well, so that he can dissipate any wasted energy. For whatever reason you might not want it, he can send that excess energy into the heat sink at the back. So he's robust, he's tough, and he's very, very efficient. So this is a Microcare MPPT, an LCD MPPT. So why does Microcare make it separate? When you see most products these days, particularly your imports, seem to have these guys built inside the inverter. So why do we continue to do it separately? Well, there's a good reason. There's a couple of reasons for that. And maybe you've had some experiences through the years, but let me tell you why we do it. Firstly, it is the best way to do it. It's the most efficient way. All right. It might seem like not cost effective initially, but it is the best way in the long run to be cost effective. So an initial capital outlay might be cheaper by putting it inside the inverter, but in the long run, the amount of power that you're going to get from these bad boys is so worth it. So its efficiency is incredible. It also means that solar doesn't really like heat. We don't like the buildup of heat. So by having it separate, we can then ensure that the heat that could be inside the inverter is not transferred to electronics. It's kept separate. So it works the most efficient way possible. What's also really nice about these guys is that there's no wastage. And in fact, there's quite flexibility about how you can design. Most roofs these days, excuse me, have got various multiple facets to it. Most roofs are not just all nice north facing at a certain angle. There's a little portion over this side, a little portion over the bedrooms maybe. And so the panels are not going to all be straight. They're sort of all different angles. Most MPPTs that are built in these days, they're only limited to a certain amount that you can have, and that's your only option. By having it separate, of course, now you can be more versatile. You can actually make sure that you can get the maximum power out of your solar panels. And I'll give you some great examples in a moment. But that means for this little guy, this is our entry-level size. He's, of course, able to then connect to a couple of panels on this side of the roof, and you can have another one facing that side of the roof, and so on. You can literally build it up and you keep it versatile and get the maximum amount of power from the sun through these bad boys into your batteries and into your load. So you're versatile, you're flexible. And then if you have a problem, you're renovating your house, you've got a problem, maybe something goes wrong, at least then your inverter can continue working, your other MPPTs can continue working. If you've got to take one offline, then you don't have to switch the whole system off, which is often the Achilles heel of these all-in-one systems. So you've got versatility, flexibility, you can design as per your power requirements. There's no redundancy, there's no waste, and of course, the efficiency. These boys work really, really hard. I was just checking our own system here at the factory recently, and we've got about 10.5 kilowatts of potential power we could make. That's what we are rated for. And I was checking this week, we were going over 11 kilowatts. How is that possible that we can go beyond the design? And it really has to do with how well these guys have worked. They run so cool. And by running cool, by keeping them separate, not built into the inverter, they're able to work really optimally. So I know it seems a bit difficult because initially you've got to spend a bit more money, but you're going to get your money back from the amount of money you're making and saving through solar, and then you're going to pay it off quicker, and you're going to get more power down the line. So there we go, our MPPTs, maximum power point trackers. These guys are our bad boys. These are the real heroes of solar. And I've often seen people actually have imported inverters and Microcare MPPTs with. And I can understand that because sometimes your imported units with built-in MPPTs are not as efficient and you can't add on. So guys, add our MPPTs, which are one of the best in the market. Really good efficiency, and they work really, really hard. And because we make it locally, if you ever had a problem, 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, if you ever had a problem, you can just send it into us. We'll repair, we'll upgrade, and we'll keep you going. All right, so look out for MPPTs. Check out MPPT Maximum Power Point Tracker on our website. All right. Right, let's talk quickly about some of the other questions. Is Microcare ever going to make non-transformer-based inverters? This is an interesting question. We touched on this, I think, last week, doing some bodybuilding here in the studio with our big transformers. The answer is no. We are only going to build transformer-based inverters. All right. And this is so important because We know the South African market. We've seen what's happening in our grid, how unstable it is. And as Wouter always says, it's the shock absorber. It handles all the spikes in the energy, the depression, the difficulty that our grid is offering. Hey, we get to handle it all because of that mighty transformer in there. And that means it can go forever and ever, and it can be repaired. The microcare inverters are robust and tough and designed for South African conditions. So it wouldn't make sense for us to not have transformer-based inverters. It is the right thing for South Africa and for our market. And please have a look at our YouTube channel. Go look at our social media. You'll see our mini grids. All of our products we make have got transformers in it. It is the right, best solution. It does mean it weighs a lot. It does mean there's a lot of copper in there. It does mean that it's a little bit more expensive initially, but it is the best solution and it's going to give you longevity of life. All right. So we won't be building non-transformer based inverters. Thanks for that question coming in. Right. And then a question regarding what's the first steps to go? We'll wrap up with this question. Yeah. What's the first steps to take if I want to consider solar? What's the right thing to do? This is such an important question because so many people are interested in solar. There's so many solar companies out there now. How do I know where to go? What's the right information? Now, these days, a lot of solar companies are limited to the efficiency of the product or how the product is designed. You know, I've got a X amount of inverter. It can only connect X amount of panels, X amount of batteries. The correct way to do it, and for those who go through training courses and understand a little bit more about solar, is to look at a couple of things. And we covered this earlier in one of our first videos. I think it was Solar Chat 2. The inverter, sizing the inverter, number 2, sizing the solar panels, and 3, sizing the battery. So those things, how do we do that? Go back and have a look at that video and you'll find out more information. I think that was Let's Chat Solar number 2. But here's what you can do. You can, just some basic things. Look about where you could put solar panels possibly. You know, I've been to places where people have said, I really want to do solar, and I get there and the roof is flat or the roof is facing the wrong direction or there's shadows, there's big trees next to it. Those are the kind of things to think about. Where could I put solar panels? Remember, solar panels is the thing that can save you the money. So you've got to look for the solar panels. Secondly, find out about where your DB is. Where can I put this equipment? It's quite important. You don't want it too far away. In fact, if anything, we'd like to keep the solar panels and all the equipment as close as possible. But you're certainly not limited to that. But the closer it is, the better it is. And thirdly, just have a look at your electricity bill. Get some information about how much units you're using. I think in South Africa, we're so used to just leaving lights on and aircons on. You know, electricity was cheap, eh? We could just leave it on. That's changing quite quickly. So I think it's important that you actually, understand, know how much electricity you're using. Get your bills ready. See how much you prepaid electricity you're using. But that's not going to be enough to size the solar system. A microcare installer will still want to put in a logger and get the true details of the information. But your bill does give you certainly some insight there. Right, go check out our Facebook page for more information on solar systems, some examples of them, what they'll look like, how much space you need, and then check out our website for our training courses, and you can actually learn about how to correctly size the system. Right, so thanks for those questions coming in. As mentioned, we're going to have Wouter coming in, and we're going to be going to some of our sites soon and showing you some of the installations. So if you're interested in that, check out our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. We've got lots of photographs we're posting on our social media pages as well. And remember, we're Bok fans here. We buy local products. We support the Bokke. We're on the groen kant, all right? So stay on the groen kant and buy a microcare. All right. Bless you guys, and we'll chat to you soon. Thanks.